well over halfway through 2014, and now that all the big summer movies have opened, it's time to reflect. Today I'm going to share my top 10 movies for the year so far, and I hope you'll share your own developing top 10 list in the comments down below. But first, let's take a look at the most important top 10 list, the box office. Now, 2014 has been a disappointing year at the box office overall, down more than 20%, one of the biggest drops in movie history. But while audiences might not be as interested in blockbusters as they were in 2013, the big movies still get most of their money. Captain America: The Winter Soldier leads the pack domestically, while similarly superhero-themed The Lego Movie is a close second. Transformers continues to be the franchise everyone pays to hate, while Maleficent seems to be the new one, also proving that live-action fairy tales are a hot new genre. It's no surprise to see X-Men: Days of Future Past, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Godzilla here, but 22 Jump Street is a pleasant surprise. And while many would argue Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and How to Train Your Dragon 2 deserve to be in the top 10, they'll soon be pushed out by the upcoming tidal wave of holiday blockbusters, and surely Guardians of the Galaxy. Worldwide, the players are generally the same, although Rio 2, earning a whopping 73% of its box office from overseas, pushes out 22 Jump Street. And once again, Marvel does not have the biggest movie of the year. Last year, Frozen unseated Iron Man 3, but at least that kept the top spot in the Mouse House. Right now, though, Transformers: Age of Extinction is the only flick to join the $1 billion club, thanks to all that China coin. But it's Fox's Marvel movie that's in second place. Then Disney falls back to third and fourth place with Maleficent, and then Captain America: The Winter Soldier. But Guardians of the Galaxy could very well save the day. Now for my top 10 list, developing. At number 10, I've put X-Men: Days of Future Past. Why did it just barely make my list? Well, as much as I enjoyed the film, I felt it was more of a course correct that sets up an astonishing future for the franchise. Does the movie truly stand on its own, though? I can't say that it does, but I couldn't be more excited about X-Men: Apocalypse. At number 9, I have The Raid 2. While I had problems with some of the writing and acting in this film, it was on many levels a masterpiece. Gareth Evans and martial artist Iko Uwais have certainly earned a spot as one of the great director-actor partnerships in movie history. And it's not only exciting to see a foreign film earn global recognition and cult fandom, but The Raid 2 has put Indonesian filmmaking on the map. At number 8, I have to say, Noah. Sure, the movie doesn't exactly hold water, but Darren Aronofsky reimagined not just the religious film, but how we interpret and relate to religion in general. So while Noah might not be a huge achievement, it's definitely a huge first step, especially if films that deal with religion want to move beyond their core audience. My number 7 is Lucy for similar reasons. As I said in my review, this is the first mainstream experimental action film I've ever seen, and anything that can at least successfully introduce experimental filmmaking to mainstream audiences is exciting. Plus, Lucy has the best opening scene of the year and perhaps one of the best of all time. And while one can argue that both Noah and Lucy went off the tracks narratively speaking, it will be hard to argue that they didn't make you think while doing so. As moviegoers complain that Hollywood is stuck in a rut, we should applaud those films which are fresh and new. But Tom Cruise made being stuck in a rut work brilliantly, which is why Edge of Tomorrow is my number 6. This sci-fi movie wasn't just a highlight of 2014, but one of its biggest tragedies. Thanks to a poor marketing campaign and the antics in Cruise's personal life, Edge of Tomorrow didn't even get a chance. Hopefully one of the smartest and funniest sci-fi movies ever will get its due later on down the line. And this truly was a great year for sci-fi, as Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was another great movie, my number 5. Thanks to Andy Serkis, a true pioneer in motion capture acting, this franchise was able to finally realize its full potential and uniqueness. Freed from makeup and prosthetics that could only go so far in terms of asking us to suspend our disbelief, here was a movie where advanced apes were totally believable as the focus of the story, without losing the focus on the story itself either. The evolution of apes is scary to some humans, just as the evolution of motion capture is scary to some actors. At number 4, I have to put Maleficent. While I don't like the idea of excluding strong male characters for the sake of strong female characters, Angelina Jolie's Maleficent is one heck of a strong character. We finally have the female equivalent of Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow, a character and performance that is both highly entertaining and instantly iconic. I have thoroughly enjoyed every Disney live-action fairy tale to date, yet I find their overall focus on female empowerment and how that seems to be off-putting to so many people fascinating and a little disappointing. Now, number 3 for me is the Lego Movie. Meta humor is tricky, yet clearly Phil Lord and Chris Miller are meta masters. This duo isn't just funny, they're smart, which makes for a very clever movie that also has a surprising amount of heart. Plus, it perfectly captures the Lego experience and how it changes as we get older. And is it wrong to say Lego Batman might be my favorite version of the Caped Crusader yet? Number 2, darling, why the Grand Budapest Hotel? I've been a fan of Wes Anderson's work since he made his first big splash with Rushmore, but it was thrilling to see him come into his own and the mainstream with the Grand Budapest Hotel, and just in time as he was in danger of becoming a parody of himself. This list, as you might have noticed, embraces fresh filmmaking and new opportunities, and the idea of Wes Anderson graduating from the fringe of indie filmmaking to being one of Hollywood's top directors is very exciting. It's also nice to be reminded that in spite of his more serious franchise work, Ralph Fiennes is really quite funny. Finally, my number 1 film of the year is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Now, I realize that many of you would prefer to see Guardians of the Galaxy up here at the top spot, which is totally your prerogative. After all, these top 10 lists are opinions. But what does surprise me is how quickly so many of you turned on Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It's not enough for you simply to prefer Guardians of the Galaxy. You have to tear down Cap and company? After what, just 4 months? That was a very short time in the sun indeed. It's similar to how suddenly it's fashionable to say Nolan's Batman wasn't all that. Where's the loyalty? Well, I strongly feel that just as Nolan's The Dark Knight was a game changer for the comic book genre, so is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Both movies integrated other genres into the comic book realm, the crime thriller for The Dark Knight and the political thriller for Winter Soldier. And for the comic book genre to survive, it must evolve. So granted, many of you enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy more, thought it was more fun, a shot in the arm for the summer 2014 movie season. But if anything, it retreated further back into the comic book genre and niche properties like Firefly. So please, even if it's no longer your favorite movie of 2014 or Marvel movie in general, don't rob Captain America: The Winter Soldier of its due for helping to keep the comic book movie alive in the long term. So that's my top 10 list for 2014 so far. What's yours? Be sure to share it in the comments down below. I'm Grace Randolph, and this has been a Movie Bite. You can watch more right now.